podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Achtung Millwall. Broadcasting from beautiful South Bermondsey, it's the #1 Millwall podcast. Accept no substitute.
Hello dear listeners, welcome to Achtung Millwall, #1 Millwall podcast. Of course, my name is Nick Hart and we're speaking in the wake of if not a decisive weekend of football action in the Championship, certainly one that changes the picture ever so slightly, starts to clarify matters, I would suggest. Earlier on today, Wrexham lost 2-0 to Birmingham City, which kind of starts to reinforce and solidify the playoff picture. Obviously, point and purpose of our show today is to discuss the 0-0 draw between the Lions and West Bromwich Albion Friday night, which is, our main concern perhaps, but equally we've got one eye on results elsewhere because we are still nominally at least chasing second position, though Ipswich's fine win in the East Anglian derby yesterday probably puts them in the driving spot. If they weren't in it already, they're certainly now got the seatbelt plugged in and their feet to the metal, the gas to the metal, or whatever the expression is. 75 points in second position, and then the Lions now in the wake of Friday night's point at the Hawthorns sitting on 73. Middlesbrough bizarrely seem to be going for a very ill-timed wobble when they're now 1 point behind us on 72. Wrexham's loss, though, let me just mention, leaves a 4-point gap between them and Hull City in the sixth playoff position. So that's a 9-point spread between Wrexham outside the playoff zone and now the Lions in third position on 73. Obviously, we still got to be looking forwards, got to be looking up, and despite a good strong first half, I thought, for the Lions on Friday, second half probably we started to find the combination of pressure and fatigue just starting to be too much for us. We'll see how things work out, but I think playoff football certainly seems to be the likeliest outcome, as I record these words to you late afternoon on Sunday. Now then, we have a packed programme here for you listeners. First up, we've got Michael Avery, who went up to the Hawthorns, who did some fantastic in-game live thoughts, comments and musings for us. I couldn't make it on Friday night. I had familial duties to attend to, so I couldn't make it. I had to watch it on the telly on Sky. But Michael recorded some fine work for us, and we're going to run that for you now. And then I'm going to follow that up with the welcome return of the new voice on the show, Harry Evans. So first up will be Michael. Then after Michael's piece is finished, it's going to be myself in conversation with Harry Evans, that is. Stay tuned, dear listeners.
Achtung, Millwall.
Good afternoon, dear listener. Good evening, dear listener, from the Hawthorns, where I've just done my introduction, and Coburn's played a lovely through ball to Ivanovic, who plays it wide to Aziz. Aziz looks up towards goal, cuts in on his left foot, cuts back onto his right foot, dancing around the 18-yard box, back to Kramer, cross goes in towards the far post, and help with O'Leary. And we are 7 minutes in, and good evening, dear listener, from the Hawthorns. My name is Michael Avery, standing in for Nick Hart in this massive Friday night game between West Bromwich Albion and Millwall Football Club. Was the 3-hour drive from Bexley worth it? We'll tell you in a few more minutes' time. But as we say, we're 7 minutes in. We're surrounded by stewards in orange coats, and half of them don't even know where we're meant to be. We're meant to be about 18 rows further back than where we are, but we are currently 2 rows from the front. Gotta love the away days. Come on, you Lions. Mill now break down the left-hand side. Plays it back in towards Negley on the ball, who looks to play it back to Denore. Denore on the halfway line, and they've played it all the way along the back line to Caleb Taylor there. Back to Cooper. Cooper plays it back out wide now to the left-hand side towards Sturge. Sturge back to Cooper. It's a bit like that Simpsons game where it's just going backwards and forwards across the middle of the park. Cooper now dribbling with the ball, looks up. Lovely long ball there towards the penalty spot. Coburn goes to flick it on, but it's only as far as the edge of the box. West Brom now on the ball, breaking towards the halfway line. He looks up, play the left-hand side, which he does there. Taylor stands and jockeys well. Kramer cuts inside to cover, cuts inside, gets across him with the left foot, across goal, and it just goes wide. The one bad thing was standing behind the goal. Everything looks probably a lot closer than it is shot from distance or shot come across. Bouncing around in the box, header, shot from distance, well over the bar, and it's nearly killed the Seagull on top of the stands. Why are we worrying? 0-0. Everywhere she goes, your mum's a slapper. Everywhere she goes. Everywhere she goes. An old classic describing people's mothers. There's a slapper everywhere she goes. Good thing there's no children around, isn't there?
I'm a child!
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely 18 plus.
18 plus, absolutely, yeah, that's why you're going with the under 14 ticket. Not sure whose mums they're talking about. Hopefully no one we know. It remains 0-0. I have to say, the bit that made me laugh when I came in was obviously when you go away, you don't sit in the seat, but you sit roughly where it should be. I'm here at the moment with 3 kids, so I say, handball on the edge of the box there while I'm chatting rubbish. The ball gets played out to Negley on the edge of the box to Kramer. Kramer on the right-hand side looks in, plays it back to Negley in the midfield. Gives it to Denore there, back to Aziz, who tries to get across into the edge of the box. Anyway, the point I was making was they sort of threw me, my sibling, and between us, my 2 sons and nephew, away from danger, in their words, away from danger. Did they not realise we was at Palace away last year? Oh, lovely football there by Sturge into Ballo and a cross in! Oh! Josh Coburn from literally within the 6-yard box. The keeper's on the floor and beat. That's Millwall's chance to go 1-0 up. Oh, that's your chance. But it was fantastic work from the left-hand side by Ballo. Cross comes in, Coburn in mid-air meets it and puts it wide from the closest of angles. And what I was going to say was they removed us from the supposed danger closer to the West Brom fans. And I'll tell you what, might have been dangerous for them if that goal had gone in. 0-0, but how? Millwall now break towards the West Brom goal. Josh Coburn drops his shoulder, drops it again, runs towards goal, gets the shot, cross! But Arrivederci meets it in the air, and it's out for a corner. Great start by Millwall. 31 minutes in the game. The game's got a bit of a lull at the moment. Some frustrations creeping in as West Brom are managing to keep him out. That's a blatant foul there on Arrivederci. We're looking for the foul. Negley's looking for the foul as he's pulled down by his left shoulder. The referee is only about 5-10 yards away, and he doesn't see anything wrong with that. The ball back now with Patterson, plays it out to Cooper. Out to Sturge on the left-hand side, and they're trying to get it out of these little alleyways that Millwall are starting to find themselves in. Needs to be a little bit sharper. Great start from Millwall. I said it right at the beginning of the pod. Really good start. Should be 1-0 up, really. West Brom have threatened very little. But suddenly, they're starting to interrupt our flow and our game. They're a home team. There's a big attendance tonight. Not a full house in the West Brom end by any means. But it's a very packed Hawthorns here. And we've got to keep playing at our tempo because they couldn't deal with it earlier on. So don't let them dictate the game as the home side. Ride out a little bit of a storm if you will, but don't let them dictate what we do, because that's when the crosses will come in and these few pinball wizards that have been finding their way into our penalty box will land to the right player, or for them the right player, and go in the back of the Millwall net. Remains 0-0, 32 minutes in. West Brom now down the right-hand side, plays the ball back into the midfield. Now back to the centre half. Millwall done well to cut that out because the West Brom fullback was in absolute acres of space there and we switched off. They've just played a lovely through ball to the right-hand side, cross into the box. Patterson does well to hold on to that. If I'm a West Brom fan now, I'm absolutely furious for that because there was lots and lots of space to get a decent crossing. And as you can hear behind me from the ironic cheers, that's equally as bad. A ball gets rolled out from Patterson, played out wide to Kramer, but it's too hard and goes out for a throw. A couple of sloppy passes from both teams at the moment, and you don't want to be too hard on them at the moment, Millwall, because you know we're playing okay, we're keeping them out, but we can't let this sloppy play, switching off, sneaking. Free kick about to come in from the left-hand side. My sister is finding it insulting. Oh, hang on a minute. Cross comes in, drops in the middle of the penalty area for West Brom. He turns about 18 yards out. There's a big arm up for a penalty, but not much cheer from the home fans, if you will. My sister is finding it rather ironic that people are singing to my nephew that his mum's a slapper everywhere she goes. They clearly know you well. 0-0. West Brom, free kick now from the right-hand side, about to come in for a very, very soft foul given against Millwall. Very similar to the one that wasn't given for Millwall on Ivanovic. Right foot in, or swinger towards the edge of the box. Doesn't beat the first man, luckily. Goes as far as the halfway line where a West Brom player then lofts it back towards the right-hand side to Ivanovic, who really poorly meets that in the air and doesn't get any real volume on that. And we really need to start pushing these up. West Brom, they're not doing a great deal, if I'm being honest, but they are sneaking in the half. They are getting a bit more possession. And ultimately, we need to deal with this. And like I said 5-10 minutes ago, we've got to go back to our tempo because they couldn't deal with it. And also as well, you know, there's a lot of basic errors starting to sneak in. And I'm hoping if it don't improve, I'll at least be offered our dark charge back. Jake Cooper now on the ball, looking up. There's a Sturgis out on the left-hand side, but he don't want to play it. And now again he just runs into a blind alley, and goodness knows why he does that. But luckily the ball drops to Ivanovic, who has a shot in the turn. Oh, we've hit the bar! Oh! Ivanovic there has a shot on the turn. It's the crossbar. A fantastic effort for nothing. My goodness, Millwall have just had a shot from 6 yards out earlier on with Coburn. Ivanovic on the turn, it's the crossbar. How is it not 2-0 or even 1-0 with both these chances? 38 minutes in. Cross now towards Ivanovic by Sturge. The ball drops to Ballo, who puts pressure on the defender. This is literally Millwall raised the tempo a little bit. As we said earlier on, West Brom can't deal with it. We need to keep doing this. It gets the fans in the game. It gets West Brom out of the game. 0-0. Left-hand side, Ballo with the ball now. Plays it back to Negley. Negley's in lots of time. Looks up. Plays it out wide to Sturge. Sturge with a cross and it goes out for a throw. Why Negley is not crossing that ball in when he's on the edge of the box is beyond me. But anyway, Millwall throw now on our right-hand side, on their attacking left-hand side, if you will. Throw taken towards Jake Cooper. Jake Cooper plays it into Casper Denore. Denore crosses it out really wide to the far to Aziz, who brings it down beautifully just in front of the line on the right-hand side. Gets the cross in, takes a deflection and header clear. Better by Millwall. Good pressure, 40 minutes in. A cross comes in from Millwall on the right-hand side. There's a lot of confusion by 2 West Brom players on the near post. It's one of them, it's the other one. A little bit of a pinball, if you will. And goes out for a corner. It's exciting, isn't it? Maybe we should brought the coat there, it's cold as well. Anyway, Millwall about to take a corner now from the right-hand side, the left-hand side as we see it here, behind the home goal. Calm on your lines, eh? Corner about to come in. Both arms are up by Aziz. It's floated towards the far post towards Taylor. Taylor heads it back across goal. In the air by Kramer. Back towards Cooper. Cooper drops. Goes Negley. Negley hits it. Oh! Negley hits it from the edge of the box. And the keeper with an absolutely fantastic save to keep it out. This is some good stuff from Millwall. We are definitely having the better chances here. Femi Aziz rightly applauding the away fans, who's given them loads and loads of support here. Corner back to come in from the left-hand side. The arms go up in the air. Lofted again towards the far post. Met in the air by Jake Cooper. Arm goes up. There's a big shout for handball. Massive call for handball. Jake Cooper headers it onto the arm of a West Brom arm. How is that not handball? That is an absolute disgrace. His arm's fucking up, all bloody, up by his head. And it bounces off the post and goes out for a goal kick. That is an absolute awful decision by the man in the middle, but it remains 0-0. 1 minute added on there. Some nice play down the right-hand side by Aziz, who keeps the pressure on. It drops to Kramer, that is never a foul. That is never a foul. There's a little tussle on the right-hand side there between Kramer and the West Brom player right in front of the assistant official, and I'll be brutally honest with you, if they're giving decisions like that, they've got to give it the other way as well, because there is nothing being given to Millwall in this half so far, in my opinion. We're playing really, really well so far. We've had a couple of moments where it's gone a little bit quiet, we've maybe dropped the tempo a little bit, but as an overall, Millwall have been the better team. The atmosphere behind this goal is really, really good. you know, everyone's packed in. Great support for a Friday evening, so fair play to everyone who's travelled up here. And the ref's going to blow any minute now for a half time. There it is. And I think if you just go down the background, that pretty much sums up some of the decisions given against us. 0-0 here at the Hawthorns. So first half's over, boys. We're back for the second half. What do we think of the first half?
I think it's been good so far. It's been even, like, we've been in each other's half quite a lot each.
But Mill's had the better
we've
chances,
been
yeah.
having more shots, but they've been very strong on the wings.
Yeah, they have, but they've just not had any end product. What do you think of the game?
I think it's been good, but we're missing all of our shots.
Yeah, exactly.
He was right next to the goal and he missed.
I know.
What was that?
Exactly, what's all that about? What do we think of the first half?
I think we've been really unlucky. We've hit the bar, the goalie's had a wonder save, and now I think we've got the momentum and we'll probably win.
And the Coburn miss.
Oh yeah, of course, from maybe 3 yards out, he's missed the sitter.
Yeah.
Goalie's on the floor, he's missed it, so...
But another big 45 to go.
Yeah.
And we just need to see how it goes, really. Come on, you Lions. We're back for the second half now. West Brom now in Millwall's half. Try and take a quick throw over towards the touchline, but Patterson does well to gather there. Just a moment ago, West Brom tried to get down those wings again, which I think what my 11-year-old son, who knows more about football than I do, has noticed is that's how they seem like they want to play. West Brom still in possession of the ball on the left-hand side. They're dictating this second half a little bit more, 51 minutes in. Ball back into the middle of the park, and you can hear the Millwall fans really trying to get behind the side. Another ball goes out wide, turns Sturge, manages to get away, through ball played in across goal. 6-yard box, well defended by the Millwall back line again. Sturge now on the ball, plays a long ball up towards Ivanovic. That's what we're resorting to at the moment in the last sort of 8-9 minutes, is that constant long ball up the pitch. West Brom now back in possession with the ball, just in front of the touchline. Midfield now on the ball, and we've really got to start closing this down a little bit more. Goes out wide again down that right-hand side for West Brom. West Brom keeping the ball really quite well under no real pressure from Millwall to get it. I think we're sort of standing off waiting for them to penetrate a certain area, and then we'll get them on the counter. Because at the moment, with these opening 7 minutes of the second half, they're enjoying the possession. Negley, for me, is having a good game. He's really putting a lot of pressure on. And again, another very cheap foul. West Brom in possession of the ball, gives it back to their centre half. No danger whatsoever. Negley raises a hand up, and the ref gives a foul for absolutely nothing, in my opinion. West Brom now on the ball again, right-hand side. Casper Denore's doing well to sort of cover that area and stop him coming through. But again, there's another big gap in that centre midfield. West Brom with the ball now, play it out wide. They're looking for the overlap there, which he sees, gives it on the overlap. Cross comes into the far post, met in the air, back towards goal, and over the bar. They're getting closer. We have got to start getting these out. It remains 0-0, 64 minutes in. Coburn leaving the field from Macaulay Langstaff. And you can hear the well done that Coburn's done today. He had a chance earlier on, 6 yards in. He's been marked by 2 or 3 players all game, and he's been tussled all over the place. He's putting a shift today, there's no denying it, but ultimately the ball's not fell for him the way he wanted it to. There's about, I'd say 25 minutes to go now. We again have got to do a bit more. I think Macaulay Langstaff's been brought in to sort of add a few more fresh legs without being silly, and a bit more of an industrial performance, lower sense of gravity and all that kind of jazz that comes with it, really hassling him. But West Brom now get the ball on their left-hand side, play into the centre midfield of their scrimshaw, shoot from distance, and it just goes wide of the near post. Again, that's another close chance for West Brom in the 66th minute, should I say. And we need to stop it. They're getting in through silly mistakes we're now starting to make. 0-0. Harry Warren, if he was at the Hawthorns, he would be having a standing ovation as his favourite player, Joe Bryan, enters the field. The cappuccino king. Loves the syrup, apparently. Harry Warren's favourite player, Joe Bryan, on the ball now. Looks to cut inside, plays it inside. The ball finds its way back to Taylor, who plays it to Kramer. Kramer looks to play out wide to Aziz, who tries to get inside, but the West Brom defender cuts it out well, and the pass or clearance is played by Negley. Jake Cooper on the ball back to Negley, who has covered every single blade of grass tonight, plays it out wide to Kramer. Kramer tries to play a through ball to Langstaff across goal! Oh! And on the far post, it's met and out for a corner. West Brom on the left-hand side, cut across goal! And they have a shot and it goes out for a corner. I'm very surprised that West Brom have had a shot and they have been given the corner. But the referee has clearly got better vision than we have, who is considerably closer to the ball. West Brom now about to take a corner from their perspective on the left-hand side in front of the home fans in the corner, but also in front of the Millwall fans behind the goal. The two arms go up, the referee's looking for some pushing and shoving. Hopefully he gives something to us in this half, because a lot has been given to the Baggies. Corner kick about to go in now. Hush over to Denny. It's played short to the edge of the box to Stiles. Stiles has a shot, it bounces around, pinballs around, shot. Oh! Has a shot, and it was a superb block by Patterson, Negley, to throw themselves at the ball and keep it out. It ricochets off of them and goes out for a corner. That's a certain goal. That is superb defence. That's a certain goal. Yeah, it is. But it's another corner on the right-hand side now for West Brom. The arms go up from Callum Stiles this time. I'm presuming as he's going to take an in-swinger with his left foot. 82 minutes now. He's in front of the stand behind the goal. Arms go up. Everyone's looking for some pushing and shoving. The referee is stopping it because of said pushing and shoving. Corner's about to come in from the left-hand side after the argy-bargy. More arms in the air, goes towards the goal, far post, met in the air! And just narrowly wide of the far post. Jake Cooper's on the floor holding his head. Joe Bryan is down holding his head as well. Harry Warren, if he was at the Hawthorns, would be on there giving him the kiss of life, even though he's conscious. It remains 0-0, 83 minutes. We're in the 87th minute of the game. How do you think the second half's gone compared to the first?
I think we played well, but the ref just ain't on our side today.
I think the second half has been a lot more West Brom than it has Millwall, if I'm being brutally honest. West Brom now on the ball. Callum Stiles tries to play it, but he gets through now to the 9 on the edge of the box, who has a shot, bounces off Caleb Taylor for a corner again to West Brom. West Brom with more corners than a Muller factory at the moment. The arm goes up for a corner, swung towards the near post, met by Patterson well as far as Stiles, who smashes it so high it ends up in Villa Park. Still 0-0, and we have only got about 20 seconds to go. If we're going to say this is going to be towards the end of the game, hopefully nothing happens, but a bit of a game of two halves. Millwall with a lot of clear-cut chances in the first half. Coburn with a miss. The effort from Ivanovic that hits the bar and all. Blimey O'Reilly, Taylor nearly with a mistake there, but Cooper does well to tidy up and maybe or West Brom would have been through for sure. Millwall have defended resolutely. I think that pretty much sums it up, dear listener. Last 15 seconds of the game now. Millwall have defended resolutely, as I said there, and a cross by West Brom gets cut out by Barry Bannon, who's come on as a sub. Kramer plays the ball back to Patterson. Patterson with the ball at his feet. Big kick towards the midfield. Well up there by Ivanovic to try and win the challenge at least. Ball drops into the midfield now. West Brom on the ball. Left back Stiles has it. He looks up, plays it down the line. We're now into 12 seconds past the original 8. Kramer wins the ball, plays into Barry Bannon. He plays it inside. He gets pulled down there, but a ball played out wide to Negley. Negley's on the ball. We're 23 seconds into the 8 added on. Plays it back inside. Millwall on the ball. Cross comes in towards the edge of the D, but it's cleared. Barry Bannon. The full-time whistle sounds here at the Hawthorns. As I said, very much it was a 0-0 game, but a game of two halves. Millwall with the better chances in the first half, Could easily have been 1-2, maybe even 3 up. But West Brom with 2 or 3 chances themselves in the second half to find the back of the net. Is a draw a fair result? We'll let you be the decider on that one, dear listener. But I will not be checking these, so don't send them to me. But if you can, send your voice notes, your voice messages and your voicemails to one Mr. Nick Hart. I know he will massively appreciate it. Michael Avery, Friday night from the Hawthorns with the Avery Clan, 0-0. Come on, you Lions.
Achtung, Millwall.
Welcome back, dear listeners. Huge thank you to Michael Avery for those in-game thoughts and musings from Friday night's 0-0 draw up there at the Hawthorns. West Brom 0, Millwall 0. Joining me now by public demand, it went down so well we brought him back again. It's Harry Evans. Welcome back to the show, H.
Hello, everyone. Hello, mate. How are you?
Well, I'm all right. I'm all right. We were just talking off air, listeners, about the reaction online to a difficult away game, and we had our chances up there at West Brom. My best chance, obviously, falling to man of the moment, player of the month. You almost guarantee he's not going to get a goal in that circumstance. Sky's player of the month, Josh Coburn, probably the best chance of the game, but also Mihailo hitting the crossbar, and there was a late flurry, a shot that was well saved just on half time. Best chances in the first half there, Harry, but. I don't know. Reactions have been quite interesting online. I think some fans almost have an expectation we're going to go everywhere and win, and it's not really like that. This is Millwall we're talking about, isn't it? We don't go away and win every time. To order almost.
Yeah, I think it was obviously after the Norwich game. I think there was a bit of ill feeling after that. I mean, obviously I was there,
Yeah.
and it wasn't great. Performance wasn't great there, and then obviously West Brom. I mean, I was at the game, so I think I must have been watching a different game to everyone, but I actually really enjoyed the first half. I thought it was a decent half of football. I think both
Yeah.
teams were really competitive, and it obviously we had our chances, and up Coburn missing that. I don't know what it is with him, but anything a few yards out. I mean, it wasn't the easiest chance compared to some of them, but you do expect, you're a striker earning 20 plus grand a week.
Put it in the
I'd
net
want
from
you to. I'd
4
want you
yards.
to put.
Yeah.
I'd be wanting you to put that away. I'm not being funny. I mean, any professional footballer, really, you earn that money for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's higher stakes, and you do need players. I mean, all of these games are going to be similar, I think, because we are playing teams in and around the bottom that are all fighting for their lives. I mean, so they're not going to just roll over for us. I think the thing that worries me, I think a lot of people followed that model that Ipswich used in the first half, where they're just overloading Femi's side with Kramer.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see Kramer seems to really be struggling with it last few games.
Yeah.
And Femi's not really getting involved because he's obviously being left a little bit more isolated than what he was, and he's always got 3 bodies around him, it seems. But you can't blame teams for that. Obviously, it's up to us to find a solution to it. But I do think, there's been a bit of an overreaction, to say the least. I mean, we were never. I mean, I said it a few weeks ago. I think playoffs. We're now done for playoffs. Like, don't think we've got enough for the automatics, and I'm not sure we would deserve automatics, if I'm being totally honest.
I don't think we've got the depth of squad there, Harry. I mean, just going back to your point about Aziz and Kramer, the right side is now being identified by opponents, rightly so, because that's where we've found success.
I mean, it's took them long enough.
Yeah, it's taken long enough. But anyway, here we are, 4 games now from the finish line, and suddenly, the creative right side is being squelched a little bit by opponents. Part of that solution, I thought he did well, was Ballo in the first half. He came in. He looked a bit more lively than we've seen of him, in his previous incarnations in the side. He faded. I think Alex Neil said after the game, after about 60 minutes, he wasn't as energetic. But I thought that was part of it. And we, on another day, this is the thing with football. It's cruel, isn't it? The Coburn chance goes in, the crossbar, Ivanovic, beautiful take and turn. A bit like the Ipswich chance late there, a couple of millimetres lower, and that angles into the net. That's football, isn't it? We had our chances, and didn't take them. Second half, no, we looked a bit off the ball. Then I will say that.
Yeah, I think they just look really leggy. I mean, it's obviously a case of the pressure in these games is definitely getting to them without any
Yeah,
shadow of a doubt. I
absolutely.
think they're
Yeah,
think they're sorry, excuse me. I think they're mentally and physically do look tired. Obviously, it's a long,
yeah.
grueling season, and I think you're as much as it does annoy me because I think I'd still be running my socks off if I had one leg to earn that sort of money each week. But but ultimately the reality of it is that these players don't think that way, do they? For them it's a job, and they're obviously they're obviously really leggy. I mean, I still think after this weekend with the way the results went, I still don't think anything's really changed. Ipswich were in the driving seat
Yeah, they
anyway with
stay in
those
the
games in
driving
hand.
seat, don't they? Yeah,
Yeah, and they stay in the driving seat. Borough are fumbling.
yeah,
Southampton, obviously, a little bit of a worry.
yeah.
If you're worried about second place, I mean, to be honest with you, I was saying this the other day. The way Southampton are playing and going, I'd rather them get second than Ipswich because I don't fancy playing them in the playoffs with the momentum they've
No,
got.
their team at the moment,
Um,
they've surged into the top six, haven't they? Won yesterday again.
and
That's 4 wins on the spin for them.
Yeah, and it tells you all you need to know, really. The fact that Southampton are still 3 points behind us, and they're now being talked about for second place. So it's not over. And we've got four very winnable games. I don't like that we're playing Leicester because obviously Alex Neil's record against Rowett, and obviously Rowett will want to get one over on us, and he'll be desperate for
Absolutely.
points
Yeah,
anyway
yeah,
to keep them
yeah,
in the division
yeah.
because who knows what will happen to Leicester if they go down because all the stuff with their player contracts and stuff. Apparently, they've got no reduction in their contract if they go
Right.
down, so they're still
Wow.
going to be paying those same wages, so they could be bang in
Indeed
trouble
one.
if they
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, tough run of games, but very winnable. Like I said, I'll be very surprised if we don't beat QPR. I've got to be honest. I think saw a lot of fans going, yeah, well, we a few of them on there going, yeah, we play like that, got no chance. I think, to be honest with you, I don't think we need to play that well to beat them. If I'm being completely honest, I mean, you'd like to think they're on the beach a little bit now because I mean they're bang mid-table. They're not going to do anything.
They're
They're
not
not
going to
going to go
achieve
down.
playoff football. I mean, on 58 points in 11th spot, 10 points
Yeah,
behind Hull City. That's not going to happen, is it? With 4 games to go. So um,
exactly.
let's
So
see what we get there against QPR. I mean, I think there's a whole, depends on a generational thing, perhaps, Harry. I don't know, but I see this as a really successful season. But because we've had the golden carrot, the glittering prize of second dangled in front of us, and we're probably not going to get that. We've got to be realistic. It somehow seems second best to be in the playoffs, and that's a huge achievement. First time for 25 years. It's
yeah, I
massive.
mean, it's huge. I mean, the thing is, right, after the Borough game, I think we all got very excited after that
We did,
because
we did.
but then
Yeah.
if you look at that result now with the results they're getting, I mean, really, Borough are
Well, they
terrible
got
at
beat
the
late
moment.
yesterday, didn't they? Portsmouth. I
Yeah,
mean, life could be worse, listeners. Life could be worse than what we're going through at the moment.
exactly. I mean, I wouldn't want to be Middlesbrough right now because
No, no,
they won't drop out the playoffs, but if they can't get their strikers fit in time for them, you can't see them doing much there.
no.
Um, so we're still in a very good position, and as I said, I was saying this the other day, it's not in our hands, but if we win the last four games, which, based on recent performances, I'm not saying we're going to do that, but, we're very capable of winning those last four. That finishes us off, I believe, on 85 points. I mean,
Yeah,
if that's
yeah,
not enough for
yeah.
second place,
Well, it's been a good season for those that get it. They deserve it. I
yeah,
mean, Coventry deserve the top spot. I don't think anyone can
yeah,
dispute that.
100%.
And I think that Ipswich have certainly got enough in them to achieve second. So I think that's my take on it. This is a question I wanted to ask you, Harry. Would you start to think about resting players for the momentum of the playoffs? One or two look a bit jaded. I think that Kramer. I think maybe of
Uh,
Aziz at some level.
it's a tricky one. I think it depends. I think the only game I'd consider resting them is maybe the last day if it's fully over and we're nailed in.
The
But I
Oxford
do
game.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, I do think with our form, we do need to get some points on the board and get a bit of momentum back because you don't want to rest these players. And then obviously, there's benefits to that. But I mean, I've seen us rest players before, and they still look knackered with 60 minutes into the game. So I don't necessarily buy into
No,
the
might not have
idea
the
of resting
benefits we
players.
want.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get, if you do rest them at this stage and you get turned over a couple of times, that's not great momentum going into the three biggest games of their careers potentially. So, I
Absolutely.
think one or two maybe. I think, maybe someone like Femi, who does a lot of running. Negley does a huge amount of running, but he never seems to tire. I mean, he was
No,
still
he
going for
seems
it.
hungry as well for it. I mean, there's two sides to the pressure, isn't there? I mean, I think the pressure is telling. It's telling on other teams around us. And the Middlesbrough form
Yeah.
at the moment is, in my opinion, is pressure. These stakes are huge. This is big time football on the table, and we've got a squad largely speaking of players that have certainly never performed in these conditions, Harry. And some really do show a hunger. I think Negley is a player that is hungry for a higher
Mm.
level. I think that he's really showing his true colours. It's great to see because I mean, he went for a bit of a phase of not being rated very highly. But I thought he was one of the players of the match on Friday night, especially. He certainly gives you 100%, doesn't he, the boy?
Yeah, I think he's one of those as well, right? I don't think he would leave in the summer. And I think he knows that. I think he knows that if we don't go up this year, he's sort of nailed on for another season in the
He's a key
championship.
player next season, yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
and I think he will be one of our main players. And I think if he carries on with these performances come January next year, we'll have questions asked of us as to whether we'll keep him or sell him. But
Yeah.
like I said, I think with him, he's obviously just taking a bit of time to adjust, and he seems to have done that now, and he seems to be able to play in whatever position you put him in. So he's been brilliant, and yeah, I just think going into next year, that it's going to be, all change in the summer if we don't go up or if we do. I think, that's obviously the model now. Um, I,
Yeah.
I mean, I go back to, I think the club showed, I was talking about this with a few after the Norwich game with the Aziz situation, and people might not agree with this take. And hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I remember saying it at the time. I think if Ipswich came in with 20 million quid for him, a part of me thinks maybe we should have sold him because will we get that in? I don't think we'll get that in the summer for him, and he will go in the summer.
His
And I
form has
know
gone
we've
off the
of
boil. He is being
yeah,
focused upon, and I think great players work ways around it. I mean, silly example, a Maradona can take on three players. Femi is
yeah,
nowhere near that level, but he's got to aim at that. If that's the top flight,
yeah.
let's put it be more sensible. Um, and I think that at the moment he's being posed a problem that he can't quite work out the solution to, Harry. And the Kramer's the same,
Yeah,
I think.
I think this isn't me saying, "Oh, Femi's been terrible" or anything like that. I just think in January, I think basically that this is part of the thing with the model, right? If it keeps going as well as it is in January, we are going to be in a good position.
Mm.
But we need to make a decision at some point in these next couple of years whether we've got a team we can roll the dice on and maybe go up with them. I've still not really thought we'd go up at any point this season. I thought we'd get playoffs, but I've never really seen us really. I mean, obviously, I'm a Millwall fan, right? So, and I'm sure, like most of you, I can't ever see us in the Premier League, but I just can't.
It's slightly
Um,
unimaginable, yeah. But
yeah,
anyway, here
it
we are.
is, and it's just, and we've rolled the dice with this team. Fair play to the board because they've turned down, apparently 20 million quid for
Yeah,
Femi,
yeah, yeah.
but and it's not. It doesn't look like it's going to quite pay off. But we have got a playoff spot, so and you can't really
Yeah,
ask for much more than that with our budget. I think the issue is the hype after the Borough game, beating them. We get second, and it's obviously the expectation goes through the roof then. But then people need to have a bit of reality check because Middlesbrough haven't been doing that well. We got a very good result against Ipswich as well,
yeah, we did.
and
And we were
then
very close to
and
winning it. So
yeah, and
it's
it's the
depth, lack of
frustration
depth,
of
Harry. Lack of
yeah,
depth, mate. That's our problem. I mean, I think if you compare ourselves with other teams, even watching on Friday night, I was watching on TV, listeners. But you become painfully aware that obviously the Coburn and Ivanovic combo up front, good starting, and we had chances. But when it comes to replacing the attacking two, we don't. I mean, I've got a lot of time for Macaulay. I think he's a boy that will give you 100%. But you're not really bringing on quality from the bench to replace those two up front. And it kind of goes through the squad that it get past our first choice 11. and you're probably not into great deal of quality after that. And I think that's our problem, Harry.
Yeah,
For that reason, we
definitely.
may or may not be successful this season. I don't know. The only thing I'd say with the playoffs is a cup tie, isn't it? And then a one-off win or lose. So anything can happen. And to achieve this level, I'll keep coming back to the same point, listeners, is a huge achievement. This has eluded us for 25 years.
100%. Yeah.
To
And
get into this, it's, and I also did a little total. I put it onto X just to be, if I let you speak. Point totals, and we were on 73 now. I thought I had 72, but anyway, so that's our fifth highest points total since we went for 3 points for a win. So in championship level terms, anyway. So this has been a terrific season. It's been an
yeah,
immense season.
it's been unreal, and I still think so. When we did get into second spot, my worry with us is that because I still don't think he's out of the question. I don't really think we're going to do it. I
Mm,
mean, so I've got mixed views on it, but I also think, would I rather us come in being second on last day of the season and just
yeah.
having to win, or would I prefer us to be third and have an outside chance, win our game, and see what happens? Because
Mm,
it does take all the pressure off the players, and I do think now after those last couple of results, it does take the pressure off us a little bit. We've only got to really get, I'd say, another 3 or 4 points to guarantee the playoffs. But
yeah.
now
Yeah.
these 4 games, in my opinion, I mean, obviously, there's already talk of resting players. I think it's a bit early for that, but they're all free hits now. So, you'd hope we play with a little bit more freedom the next few games. And I'd imagine that's what Alex Neil's telling the players is like, look, second place looks very unrealistic now, especially if Ipswich win those 2 games in hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I personally don't think they will. I think Ipswich will wobble as well because I don't think anyone's really claimed it. I mean, you only have to look at us and Borough as an example. When we beat Borough, we look like, yeah, we're probably one of the favourites now of our
Mm.
run in. They were even saying it on Sky, and then we fumbled it. Borough were second for ages. They fumbled it. I do think Ipswich they haven't been as good as you'd think they would be this year. There's games that they might lose. They're fighting. They're playing teams that are fighting for their lives as well. They've got
Portsmouth
a
on
couple of
Tuesday
those
night.
types
That's
of
going to be an
game.
interesting
Yeah,
fixture. Who did very well
exactly.
with that late winner at Middlesbrough yesterday. So there's a team that wants to get they're scrapping to stay in the division. So we've got every incentive to go and do the same at Ipswich. We'll see on that front, won't we? It's going to
Yeah,
be
and
a roller coaster ride, to say the
it
least.
is, and I've said it. It will go down. I do think the second place race will go down to the last day. Whether we're in it on the last day, I don't know. It might be Southampton and Ipswich, but I still think if we beat QPR on Friday, which I think we will, is it Friday or Sorry, Saturday. I'm thinking it's another bank holiday.
Saturday cues a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. So Saturday morning, if we beat them, the table looks really different. And the outlook looks different again. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's week by week at the moment. So you can't. I wouldn't bet on any of the teams around them to say they're nailed on to
No, no,
win.
no.
But I think on Saturday, I know it sounds a bit maybe a bit too positive, but I'll be really shocked if we don't walk away with 3 points on Saturday because we do tend to beat QPR at home. So we've got a very good record against them, and I'll be very surprised if we don't. But
That's
as
put
I
the
said,
curse on
there's
them,
a
mate.
long. Yeah, I know, probably. But, usually I'm right because I actually said after we beat Borough, I said to about 3 or 4 people, I said, now to lose to Norwich at home. I knew it was going to happen before the game. I remember when I just see we all support the same club, right? Like all the
Yeah,
people
yeah,
having
yeah.
breakdowns online. I'm like, but you must have known we were going to lose to Norwich. Like,
This
it's,
is this is 50 odd years I've had.
yeah.
It is the format we follow. Why I will never always evade me. I don't know, but you're right, Mystic Harry, there, listeners. So we'll get you as our betting pundit, perhaps. I don't know if we ever do that.
No, I'd
Um,
never bet on Millwall, mate.
no. Interesting statistic. We're actually top of the away form, well, the away table, if you want to. Away form, we're first in that, seventh in home form. So that's an interesting position to be in for a Millwall side. We've struggled at home a little bit. I think that we are always better as the away underdog. So that's the only consolation I'm taking if we do get into playoff football, which I hope we do. We should do. we'll see. Who did you vote for in the player of the season, Harry? I just wanted to ask you before I let you go, mate. Who did you cast your vote for player of the season?
Oh, it's got to be Cooper. He deserves it, right?
I
think.
went Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah, and he plays every game. I mean, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, he had like 3 seasons where he didn't miss a single game of football.
Yeah.
But I mean, this year he's been so solid, and I think whoever plays next to him, and only have to look at Tanganga since he left. He's struggled at Sheffield
Yeah.
United. Whoever he plays aside also looks solid as well. And I think next year I love Caleb Taylor, but what I would really like to see, I've been saying this for a while, is to see Kramer at centre half next to
Back in
him
his
because,
proper
yeah,
position.
in
Yeah.
his proper role. And as much as it's harsh on Caleb Taylor, I don't think he's done a lot wrong. But I do think in terms of distribution of the ball, because look, Cooper is actually very, he can pass the ball, but the problem is it takes him too long to get it out of his feet. That's the only downside with Cooper because he's obviously massive, right?
He's a huge
But
lump. He's a huge man, honestly.
yeah,
Big.
but he's been absolutely superb all season. I don't think he's really done anything wrong. He might have made 1 or 2 mistakes, as you would expect over 46 games, but he deserves to win it one of these years, And I think, it's good that he's finally getting the recognition he deserves. I think after the John Berylson situation and the statement that he came out with when he signed the contract, that should have been him nailed into Millwall folklore forever after that, I think. And I'd love to see us get promoted.
Record, yeah.
Well, he is, and I think he'll get there. Every year we always think, it might be his last year at centre back. We might replace him, but he keeps performing, and he seems to get better still. And he's 30, 31. He's still got 3 or 4 seasons left.
He should have a couple of years yet left in him at this level, shouldn't he?
100%. And the fact he's not dipping. He seems to be getting better. He just knows the Championship through and through, right? He's played in the league for the best part of 10 years. So he understands the league, understands the level, and he's been brilliant all year, and he fully deserves it. And I think it'll be a bit of a travesty if he doesn't. I mean, Aziz might not like that, but or Kramer. I think it's harsh on some of the others.
He's been game changing when he's been on form. He's just not been consistent enough for that attribute. I voted Jake Cooper, and everything I'm seeing online says it should be a shoe-in for Cooper. We'll see. You can never predict these things, but I think it's been his best season in a Millwall shirt for a long while, in a great career for us. So anyway, we'll see on that front. Harry, it's been a pleasure talking to you, mate, as always. No doubt you and I will speak again before the end of the season, almost certainly.
I'll send you a few Twitter memes, mate.
They might be. Oh, God.
I'll tell you, I said, these are the only times I speak to you sober, because I always message you
after
the game.
Next time I speak to you might be in the Surrey Dock Spoon, so we'll see what recordings we get from there. Big thank you,
no,
listeners.
That's not allowed, mate. Confidential.
Thank you to Harry Evans. Cheers, H. All the best, mate.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Achtung, Millwall.
Fantastic stuff from Harry. Now, as I said at the start of the show, dear listeners, I think reality is starting to bite, in the sense that those second place is not out of the question by any means, still only 2 points. Ipswich do have 2 games in hand on us. They've played 40 to our 42. And I think realistically we're going to start to, maybe with one more result, maybe following the home game against QPR next Saturday, 12:30 start for that one. We'll see what other results. I think Ipswich got to play Portsmouth on Tuesday night, I believe, and they've got another game next week, which one escapes me as I'm speaking to you. Now that picture may change. All we can do is beat what's in front of us, or at least if not, then we start to try and manage the whole playoff picture, the post-season playoff games. I think we need to rest 1 or 2, as I discussed with Harry there. But I just want to close today's edition for you, dear listeners, with a great comments posted earlier on from Jonathan on Spotify. Do keep the comments coming on YouTube and on Spotify. We'll, make a show of reading them out. But I just picked this one out today to close today's edition for us. Jonathan writes 2 hours ago, this is what 1:30, so it's a bit about early afternoon, writing this just as Wrexham lose at Birmingham. That's pretty much that for Jonathan. Millwall are all but in the playoffs, at least now, 9 points difference to 7th spot and before to play. Any Millwall fan would have taken this in the summertime or at Christmas And indeed, just a month or so ago, that's true. For me, it's true, listeners. Fantastic achievement by Alex Neil and the players, who are punching well above their weight. There can be no negativity. This is a fine achievement that has ultimately taken nearly a quarter of a century to replicate. I can't put it better, Jonathan. That's my view entirely. To achieve playoff football has been something that we've striven for how many years? How many near misses have we had under Neil Harris? And then Gary Rowett, last match being snatched away from us through circumstances. So I think I make you right. I mean, whether others out there will see it differently, I know we've had the glittering prize of second automatic promotion being dangled in front of our eyes, but I think that's always going to be a stretch. It may still work out that way. Who knows? Football is a strange business. But at the moment, it's looking like playoff football with all that fraughtness and all the tension that comes with that. I'm both looking forward to it and I'm not looking forward to it all in one. I'm sure you too, dear listeners. But I'll make you right. No negativity on this show, dear listeners. The fact that we finished or will finish in the top 6 was the target. I think the way Alex Neil speaks in his post-match press conferences, it kind of says to me that he had what they call them KPIs, key performance indicators. Anyone knows that expression from the world of work. And that would have been one of his at the start of the season. So no easy task, given that we failed repeatedly since the days of Mark McGee. So to largely speaking, still not, the fat lady's not singing yet, but we're as near as damn it now to achieving that. I think is a massive tribute to Alex Neil and this squad that have overachieved. Another phrase I've nicked from the Alex Neil phrase book. Overachieved. Still stories to unfold as yet, but I think that's what it's looking like as we speak right now, listeners. So there we are. That's the edition. I should be back tomorrow speaking with Merv Payne and then the voicemails that I've received. Big thank you to everyone who sent me in voicemails. Do give me a shout if you want to join the voicemail posse. Dead simple, just record it post-match and WhatsApp me, but we do need to exchange mobile numbers. So message me via X. You can message me on the direct message system or email me at achtungmillwall@gmail.com and we can exchange mobile phone numbers. I don't want to stick my mobile number online. You know why. I don't have to tell you that, dear listeners, do I? Big thank you, though, to everyone that also contributes via the comments on YouTube and Spotify. You can leave your thoughts and comments, and I appreciate each and every one of them. There we are. That's it from me, Nick Hart. Back again tomorrow with Merv. Till the next edition, and then till next week after QPR from me, it's Arrivederci Millwall. Bye for now.
When I was a little boy, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be Arsenal? Will I be Spurs? Here's what she said to me.
Who do you want to watch?